which is I'm spending all of my time binging Netflix. How do I stop? Okay. And this actually connects to what we were just saying, which is why I'm jumping to this question. So, because what I'm doing right now is I'm binging the Mary Russell series by Laurie King. But I love the series and it's comforting and it allows me to kind of step out of myself into this other space, but it doesn't require too much for my brain.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm not reading Dante in Italian. I'm reading Laurie King and about Sherlock Holmes. So it's basically really high class fan fiction.
Mhm.
And it is high class. Let's be clear. It's not low class fan fiction. It is high class fan fiction. Uh, but I have decided that that is okay. That it's okay for me to spend my time binging those books. It's not the only thing I'm doing, and the reason it's not the only thing I'm doing is because I've decided it's okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So when you are in the middle, and this goes for when you're binging anything, when you're binging food, when you're binging Netflix, because what is the binging about? The binging is about bringing yourself comfort and creating this insulating layer around you when you are distressed.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's the whole point. And yes, it can be numbing, especially if you're binging alcohol or something that really does put you in a narcoleptic state, let's say. And Netflix can do that. Don't get me wrong. Novels can do that. Almost anything can do that. But if you say it's okay for me to do this for X number of days or for this number of hours per day or from this time to this time, then you're giving yourself permission to take that comfort that you need, especially if it's something that is not fundamentally harmful for you, like hard drugs or something like that. Okay, there you go. Yeah, so you give yourself a break, you allow yourself the comfort, and then you're able to move through that process faster and you can step into the next thing sooner than you would be able to if you were avoiding it. So you allow yourself to get to the point where you can deal with your feelings and then after dealing with your feelings move on with your life. Okay? But sometimes you just need the donut. Okay? And in this case, the donut is a Netflix series or high class fan fiction or romance novels or, whatever it is that you're binging to comfort yourself. Now, if this goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on, then you have to put a hard stop on it. And the best way I have found to start doing that is to actually, I'm saying this as someone who hates exercise, to actually get outside and have some physical exercise. Okay. So if you say, okay, I can watch Netflix until I have to walk the dog, and I must walk the dog at this time, and then there's no Netflix after that, that is a way of breaking that cycle because you are physically doing something else that requires you to breathe fresh air, be under sunlight or some sunlight, depending on how it's pretty cloudy right now here. But because it takes you outside, it's a help. Now, obviously, if you are doing something that's addictive and you're stuck in that cycle of addiction, it requires more than that. But if it's just I've been binging Netflix for 2 weeks, you can probably break it with a few long walks. Does that make sense? Yeah.
I do
So
that with knitting.
you do that
I
with
do
what?
with knitting.
With knitting. Yes. Yeah. And see, it's exactly that. As a pianist, I understand that too, because keeping your hands busy,
Mhm.
it allows your brain to do other things. It also allows your brain to rest in a way
Mhm.
that it doesn't get to do necessarily other times. So there are so many things you can do to release that anxiety and stagnant energy that we have right now, and in some cases rage,
Mhm.
but if you need some time to just be present for yourself. And I do want to be clear that, binging is not really a way of being present. But so let's say bringing comfort to yourself and then returning to the present, that that things resolve faster that way.
Mhm.
So how's that for no oversimplification?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mean long-term addiction, obviously, or addiction to something really damaging, but I know a lot of people right now, post-election, going into Thanksgiving, going into the holidays, are just so overwhelmed that they are trying to figure out how to turn themselves off. Like they're a little Energizer bunny and they have to turn themselves off, and they take out the batteries by binge watching Netflix or reading or whatever.
Mhm.